Today is the day I finally take this space back and make it a flower bed. Hello everybody, this is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today I'm finally putting in my front flower bed. I have this entire space that I can use to plant flowers, and I am so very excited. But before I start transforming this entire space, I want to show you where it all started. This home has 0 flower beds, and I just love flowers. So what we are doing starting today, we're ripping out these very old, very bad shaped bushes and putting in flower beds. The previous owners built this house in 1972, and when we look at the picture hanging on the wall, these are the original bushes all those years ago, which was 50 years. They planted these bushes in weed blocking fabric and then covered it with like a foot of stone. So we still have a huge task ahead of us to make this a flower bed. The roots on that last tree really came under the sidewalk, so when Jim was pulling it out, it dragged the sidewalk away. In just an hour, we were able to pull out all 5 of the bushes across the front of the house, and this is very exciting. I cannot wait to put in flower beds. So today is the first day of actually putting in a flower bed. I've put in a couple of very, very sad flowers. I'm not sure these guys are even going to make it, but we try. Jim worked endlessly on this bed, and he removed as many stones as he could. Then he brought in some soil that was on the other side of our property. So it's not much better. It's full of rocks and stone. So before I start planting, I need to add some real soil so that my flowers have an opportunity to grow here. There has never been anything growing in this area other than some bushes. The rest of it was covered in plastic, and so this soil is very, very sad, and I need to bring it back to life. First step, I'm going to plant zinnias across the entire back, and I'm doing that because I want a pop of color really quickly. The front of it, I'm saving to put some flowers that I got 75% off at the store this week, but the back, I want to just have a wall of flowers. I purchased a couple bags of this topsoil, just really cheap, $2 a bag, just to have something that my zinnias can grow in. And I picked up 1 bag of this flower and vegetable garden soil. Typically, I only use organic soil, but that's in my garden where I'm raising vegetables. It's just too expensive to do that in my flower beds. So this is not going to go real far, but it's going to add to the overall health of my front flower bed. And these are the flowers that I saved from the clearance rack at my local Lowe's, and honestly, they're not looking too bad, but I'm gonna get them out there, get them fertilized, watered, and cared for, and these guys are gonna take off. Are you seeing a theme here? Bright colors, reds, hot pinks, anything that's gonna stand out against a white house. And the first thing I'm going to add to make my soil just a little bit better is rabbit poop from my fantastic rabbits who work hard to make sure I always have fertilizer on hand. The next step was to spread the topsoil along the house, and I'm going to mix it in now with the rabbit poop. Then I'll be able to spread out my seeds. As I'm working on this flower bed, Jim is out in the lower field tilling 1.25 acres to plant millet later this week. It's just endless work that needs to be done, and so we use every opportunity we have. except Sunday. That's our day of rest, but today is a day of work. I have mixed in compost, rabbit poop, and topsoil across the back 1 foot of this flower bed. I'm not going to mulch that area. That is where my tall annuals are going to be planted, such as my zinnias, so that it's a pop of color. It's not going to take long at all, and it gives me cutting flowers as well. The next step is to water it all down very well. We are back to a drought. It can't seem to make up its mind what it's going to do this year, but everything is powdery dry, and with clay soil, that makes it like a rock. So I am going to wet this down so that my zinnia seeds have an opportunity to germinate. One of the biggest mistakes that the previous owner made was that they had planted huge, tall cedars in front of each window. And because of that, once they grew over 6, 8, 10 feet tall, they completely blocked all the sun that was coming into the house on this side. So I have already planted one very small bush, and that is a hydrangea. And let's zoom in on it. It's going to perk up real quick, but he is planted smack dab in the center between the windows. And so that way, when it does grow, it's going to take a long time. We're talking about a decade. When it starts to get taller than the windows, it's going to be in between them. So everything I do when I plant my flower beds is to plan for the future. Now, I seed save. So these are zinnias, mixed varieties from 2022. I even use recycled envelopes that come in the mail. And so I have dried all of these seeds, and they are mixed ones. So I am going to sprinkle them on top of the mixture of compost and rabbit poop that I have put on that bed. I planted this seed very close and very heavy. Some people say it is too late to plant your zinnias. You know what? Just do something. I didn't have any time to use this bed because it wasn't ready. It's ready now. And if I only get a wall of total green, at least it's green and it's not an empty hole in front of the yard. Now, I could stir this in with my rake or a hoe, but what I'm going to do is add another layer of some soil on top, and that is that garden soil that I showed earlier. That's going to give it a nice base to get growing into. As I dig a hole, I put that old soil into the low spots to level it off a little, and then I'm filling it in with my fertilized garden soil. And so what I have so far, lantana and a couple Gerber daisies, and then Jim is following behind me and he's starting to mulch the area. So we're making progress. Almost done. So exciting. That's a little salvia I found, vinca, lantana, and canna lilies. These canna lilies are so pot bound, but I know once I get them planted and watered and mulched, they will do just fine. And there you have it. It is not finished, but it is so much better than it was. So the back is all zinnia seeds. The front is a variety of annuals that I got on the clearance rack, and they will fill in. And I need a little bit of mulch. I'm thinking about 3 more bags, and this whole area is going to fill in. It is watered well. I'm going to give it some plant food, and they are going to take off. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.